Golly, that's good.
I cracked myself up. I still haven't found my first Blanton's. That's different. I really like that.
They're like together, like peas and carrots.
That's funny. Sometimes accidents are good things. Peychauds or Pechaud's or Pechaud. This is not what I expected. Hello. It's one of those days where you get an earworm and you can't get it out, no matter how hard you try. And it's a terrible song, and I don't know why it's in my head. But, you know, I feel encouraged to share it with you. Because why should I suffer alone? Born free as the wind blows. I don't know why it's in my head. And that was actually a hit song in the 70s. And then it was resurrected for, I think, one of those animated movies. Anyway, it's Monday, and it's Bourbcast night because we moved it. Member? Yeah, I remembered. So last week, we did this Baker's that they don't make anymore. And you see, I haven't hardly touched it other than last week. I haven't touched it at all since last week. And now, one thing I want to clear up. I got the mash bill wrong on this. I did a little bit of extra research tonight when I was doing this one. And I found out that this one has a different mash bill than the one I listed. This one has a mash bill of 73% corn, 13% rye, and 10% malted barley. This one, on the other hand, is very close to that. Only instead of 73% corn, it has 77% corn. Everything else is the same, 13% rye, 10% malted barley. So you could see how I could mess that up. Anyhow, this was last week. They don't make this anymore. I'm not going to touch this anymore. Well, at least not for a while. This is the one that we're focused on tonight. This is the single barrel that they now make. One of, before I take it off, that's one of 4 different tops they have. I have 2 of them, I found out. Not just 2 of the same thing. I bought these 2 single barrels at different times and at different places. So yeah, that I've got 2 of the 4 caps. That's just another one of those things, you know, like Blade and Bow. You can get all 5 keys. Blanton's all 8 toppers. With some lady at the store the other day. I was in the liquor store and she's like, "Do you have the one with the horsey?" Have more respect, please, than that. You don't want the bourbon, you want nothing. Okay. I say drink what you like. That has nothing to do with drinking. Anyway, she can buy them off, what is it, eBay or something like that. You can buy those tops. You can buy them from Buffalo Trace. You don't have to collect them. You want the horsey? Buy the horsey. Okay, so, pardon me while I step down off my soapbox. All right, so this is another Baker's. This is named after the grandnephew of the Jim Beam. I did a little bit of research into this one and found out that there's a lot of 7s. So this is a 7-year bourbon, at least. This is actually more than that. Baker's 7, that's the 7 years. It's bottled at 107 proof, and it has 77% corn. So you're wondering, what is with the 7s? Why? Well, I found it on a website, and it doesn't exactly address all the 7s, but it says about the ubiquity of 100, this is from Bourbon or Blog, the ubiquity of the 107 proof is that until 1962, distillers weren't allowed to barrel whiskey at 125 proof the way they do today. The law permitted no higher than 110, and traditional barrelings were mostly at 100 proof. Given the normal rise in proof over 4 years, 107 was probably the expected dumping proof, which was then cut to 100, 86, or 80 in bottling. 100 proof would be what we call barrel proof today. So I guess that doesn't have anything to do with all the 7s. But it was interesting anyhow. All right. So, all right. I've got it open. I've got it poured. Oh, before I go any further, I have to say thank you to Dawn, my friend, who got me this new badass shirt. She was on her way through, I think, like Pigeon Forge or something like that, and she saw it and picked it up for me, and it took weeks to get it to me because I just don't, I've been busy and I haven't been hanging out like I was, but anyway, she found a way to get this to me, and I'm really appreciative. This is a badass shirt. I love this shirt. It's got grunt style here on the side. It's got the American flag on there. Well, it's got a rendition of the American flag. It's not red, white, and blue or anything like that, but it's close. It's still cool. It's a cool shirt. I like this shirt. Bourbon makes it better. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right. Okay. So, let's see if there's anything else I'm missing. Oh, so this is Beam Suntory 107 proof, named after Baker Beam, who was known for 38 years, I think it was. Yeah, 38 years at the distillery. He knew every nook and cranny of the place, rode his motorcycle there occasionally day after day. Knew the place was quiet, but his desire for perfection was well known, right? One of those types of guys. You can appreciate him, you can respect him. May not have been the easiest dude to work for, but he was evidently kind of quiet. But Booker No surprised him with this and named it after him. So Joanna's watching. Hey, Joanna, how are you? Welcome back. So something interesting I found out about Baker's is that these barrels that store Baker's are on the top shelves of the rickhouse. The reason that Baker Beam wanted them there is because he wanted a more robust pour. It's more flavor, more spice, and he wanted it a higher proof. Those that are aged in lower floors of the rickhouse aren't subject to the harsher conditions of the top floor of a rickhouse. So they can tend to be a little more smooth and maybe lower proof. They don't have as much evaporation. This they wanted to be spicy, and they wanted that evaporation. They wanted us to be really close to Booker's without being Booker's. You know, Booker's is 120 proof and up. This is 107, right around in there. Matter of fact, that they're all 107, I believe. So anyhow, that's why they pull it from there. They say it's floor 5, rack 17, floor 7, rack 21. This particular one comes from Warehouse CLN. It was bottled in February of 2012. So this is an 11-year-old bottle, and it would have hit the market in what is that? 2019. So that's how long I've had this. I've had this for 4 years and not opened it. Shame on me. All right. No two of these are alike. They're single barrels. They're not blends. So no two of these will ever be alike. Now, that kind of makes me cringe a little bit because I like being able to dig into a I like being able to dig into a bottle and know that it's going to be the same time after time after time. But then again, some of those single barrels are fantastic. The New Riff single barrel, by the way, their distiller at New Riff, their master distiller and the founder of the company, is retiring, passing it down to his family. So good on him. Congratulations. But another one that I really like is the Russell single barrel. There's a lot of great single barrels out there. The Evan Williams single barrel that you can't get anymore in the state of Ohio or anywhere else except for, I think, the distillery or sometimes in the states of Kentucky. I love single barrel products, so I'm not gonna sneeze all over this one. Aaron's watching. Hey, Joanna just said just learned a little about those people on the tour at Jim Beam. That was really interesting. Joanna and her husband, Paul, who was with us a couple of weeks ago, they just did a big bourbon tour, had a good time, and brought back a lot of product, which he is just itching to share with me. I'm not kidding. He had texted me, which ones do you want me to bring? So, pretty fun. All right. See what else. Tyler's watching. Hey, how are you, Tyler? Bill's watching. Hey, Bill. How you doing? I'm glad you're here. All right, here we go. Let's get some nosing on this. Okay, so I've been talking to people about Jim Beam lately, and they all have this opinion that Jim Beam is peanutty, that you get peanuts on the nose a lot. And I will... Hey Brian, how are you? If I really search for peanuts, I might be able to find it. But that's not part of my, I guess, my profile. Michael David's watching. Long time. Hope you're well. I'm about to be better, Michael. I'm I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you're here. Hope everything's all right with the fam. But like I said, a lot of people get peanuts off of Jim Beam, and I'm just not getting it. I'm getting cinnamon and caramel. Boy, that's beautiful cinnamon too. Almost like what's that cinnamon chewing gum? It's not like a Red Hot, but I don't even know what it's called. The cinnamon chewing gum. I used to chew it. I don't know what it's called anymore. Maybe somebody can help me out with that. But Dentine. Dentine. It reminds me of Dentine. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Dentine? Is that it? Was that the cinnamon one? I don't remember. I know there were a couple different ones. All right. Great pour, not nutty like most Beam products I've had. Okay, well that helps me. Thank you very much, because I'm looking for nuts in this, and I can't find them. There might be a little hazelnut. Cinnamons are really nice. Boy, there's a really nice salted caramel coming out. That vanilla is just, it's popping. That vanilla is really popping. That's nice. That's got a great nose. It's a little floral note the more you dig into it too. Me likey. Your review is either going to drive me to buy one or stay clear. Big Red, Bill. Yeah, Big Red. Big Red, that's right. That's the one. I don't remember why I was remembering Dentine as a cinnamon. I don't know, maybe it was. I don't know. Sounds like something that would be minty though, right? Dentine. All right. So this one was actually aged 8 years and 7 months. It retails for around $60. At least it did in 2012. Or in 2019 when I bought this. Again, Warehouse CLN. All right, here we go. Enough fooling around. Let's taste it. That's like a warm hug. Ooh. I've got two sides of this one, and I've dealt with this one other time when I was doing the tasting of every Henry McKenna 10-year single barrel from 2021. There were two of them that had great flavor, but compared to the rest, they were just a little bit musty. Now, that's what you get when you get single barrels, right? They're not all going to be the same. They're not going to be consistent. We found that the ones that were in the early summer through the early fall had the more robust flavors. Even if they didn't have a long finish, they had the best flavors. This one, on one hand, gave me some great flavors. Great mouthfeel, nice and silky, really good. But on the other hand, there was just a little bit of a mustiness to it. It's a fresh crack, right? So I can't be expecting too much out of it, but that's kind of my litmus test for everything. I do everything on a fresh crack. I've never tried this before. So let's get back into it and try it again. My reviews. I hope it drives you to buy one, because you're not going to see Bakers everywhere. I think I've only ever seen it on the shelves in Ohio like once. I know it's around. I just don't ever see it. But then I don't travel a whole lot either anymore. Gas is too expensive. And then you get there and you buy a $60 bottle. It turns into an expensive day. All right. That's a nice pour. I do feel it drying up my mouth a little bit. Not a lot. But then as soon as I swallow it, it's like a floodgates are opening up and I'm just like drooling. I'm just going to slobber all over myself. It dries it out when I'm drinking, and as soon as I'm done, it's like, help, it's a wave. Wow, this is a neat pour. So there are just some very slight, you got to look for them. It's on that musty side. A little bit of that, a little bit of tobacco, and normally I like that flavor, and I do on this too. It really fits it nicely. Gosh, it makes me want to open the other one and try it, but I'm not going to. I know I have a hidden gem store with 3 or 4 on the shelf. All right, Tyler. I will accept private messages. Because I got 2 more caps I got to collect, right? Paul, who was here 2 weeks ago, he's got all 4 caps. I can't let him be the only one around with all 4 caps. Come on, Tyler, give. All right. 3 or 4 of them on the shelf, really? Is that Ohio or is it elsewhere? All right, here we go. Yeah, those cinnamons are just kicking. Really nice. Slight fruit note. Maybe plum. Can't really identify it. Sometimes it feels darker. Sometimes it feels lighter. It went away really fast. Not raisin. It might be plum because it's a little sweeter than raisins. Really nice salted caramel, nice cinnamons. Those cinnamons are hitting hard. That spice that Baker was going for by putting this on the top shelf, it's there. It's only a 13% rye, so you wouldn't think that a 13% rye would present with that kind of spice. And 10% malted barley is a little on the high side, but that tends to smooth things out. The rye is where that spice comes from. And this is presenting itself as a higher rye than it is. 77% corn. This ought to be a lot sweeter than it is, and it isn't. It's got a great sweet side to it, but everything's just nicely balanced. It really is. Excuse me. Really good. Okay, I still don't see a private message coming through there, Tyler. Just saying. Excuse me. All right. One more, and then we'll put it on water, and then then I have an ice sphere to show you. It was funny. It's still funny. It's always going to be funny. Yeah, that cinnamon's really popping. That rice spice really saying hello. All right. What's the deal with the caps? I know nothing of this. Okay, stone throw across the state line. Thank you. All right, so the caps. You can't really see it from here, and I don't have a zoom lens on there. If I try to get closer, it's going to go out of focus anyway. They're just slightly different. There's actually one that's got a number 7 on it. You know, they're just slightly different. And there are 4 distinctly different caps. If you're not careful about it, you'll look at them and they'll look the same, but they really aren't. So that's something to know about Bakers. There are 4 different toppers, okay? Collectible, of course. Not that this is necessary for this. Not that it's necessary for anything. Blade and Bow is good just the way it is. Blanton's is good just the way it is. This is good just the way it is. It doesn't need a gimmick. But since it's there, why not have some fun with it, right? I mean, if that lady wants to come in and ask for the horsies, that's on her. I know what she's talking about. I know why she wants it. But, you know, hopefully she'd open the bottle and enjoy what's inside. More than just go after the, oh, there's one of the horsies on top. Ah. Okay. This is really a nice bottle. I'm going to have trouble staying out of this one. 10-4. We'll dig into checking those out. Neat. Well, we'll find out what's best, if it's neat or on water or on ice. See what I did there? All right. All right. Sploosh. There was a guy on YouTube. God bless this dude. I'll tell you what. He said the nicest stuff. He said that I was the most entertaining reviewer on YouTube. It's like, you have low standards, but thank you. I thought it was really nice of him to say that. I just put it up there. All right? You know, it's nice. I got 160 subscribers now. That's cool. You know, it's really cool that they watch it, and people are starting to get the idea what it is that I'm doing that's different. You know, I go into the background, I talk about the bottle, I talk about the master distiller, I talk about the mash bills. Not a lot of people do that stuff. And to do that in 5 minutes, like this other kid wanted, you gotta do your stuff in less than 8 minutes, so I'm tuning out. Meh. There's a lot to go over. I'm a certified bourbon steward. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my time. All right. And I wear cool shirts. All right. So this was with a little water on it. Yeah. Nice, beautiful mahogany color. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Dang. Ooh, what am I seeing? Am I seeing something? Nope. I thought maybe there's a little bit of sediment in the glass, and I was not correct. That was just the glass being magnified in the juice. Juice. I've sat through a seminar the other day talking about a new one from Jim Beam called Claremont Steep. It's a new single malt that Jim Beam's been sitting on, and so normally when you have a single malt, what they do is hey Landon, how are you doing? Normally, I'm glad you're here. Normally when they have a single malt, what they do is they put it in a used bourbon barrel. And now this is getting set to get introduced to Ohio soon. But I sat through this seminar to find out more about Claremont Steep. And so normally it's put in a used bourbon barrel. In this case, hey, good evening. Yes, sir. It is now. But they normally put in a used bourbon barrel for however long they want to age it. And Jim Beam wanted to do something different. They wanted to do it like they do bourbon and put it in a freshly charred new oak barrel, just like bourbon. First, they toast the barrel, and then they give it a number 1 char. And it's amazing because it's really dark, a lot like this. It's really similar in color to this. And then they aged it for 5 years. So I'm in this seminar, and I'm watching them talk about this. And the woman who's the brand ambassador and talking about it keeps calling it... She keeps calling it... liquid. Liquid. Don't call it liquid. There's some people who feel the same way about calling it juice. I don't mind that. Liquid? That's like calling it moist. Terrible word. Terrible word, liquid. And then she'd say, we're trying to get liquid to lips. That doesn't make it any better. What are you doing? Okay, anyway. All right. So we got a little water on this now. Let's see what happens after I've proofed it down slightly. About a milliliter of water. You're not going to believe it. I'd opened it up. First thing on the palate, or on the palate, peanuts. Unreal. Maybe it's because I was looking for it, I'll be honest. I could have just been looking for it, but I found it. Right on the front. It opened it up nicely. Taking it down just a couple of degrees of proof. I liked it the way it was, and I will continue to enjoy it the way that it was. But now that I know that it does open up a little bit on water, it's good to know. What was the one we had with Paul? We had the 1792 Full Proof, which also really opened up on water. It's a delicious pour, neat or on water. Really did some nice stuff. Brought out some of those fruitier notes. Really settled it down a lot. That's a really nice pour. Water may be the way to do this one. Just a little bit, just a few drops, just enough to knock it down a notch and open it up. That's really nice. I like to think that if I let this bottle sit for a month and I go back to it again, this is what it's going to taste like without any water in it. It doesn't always work that way. You can be hopeful, but your hopes can be dashed. This is Bourbcast number 162. So don't think I haven't experienced that from time to time. 162. I told somebody the other day that I've done 161 at the time, different bourbons. And they're like, it's like once a week, dude. Once a week. I'm not a lush or anything like that. All right. All right. One more of these, and then we'll put it on ice. And I got my ice story to tell you a bit. All right. Yeah, that's really nice. Makes me want to put Booker's on water and see what that does. I'm sure I did. I have to go back and watch it. So this is part of that family of small batch products that Jim Beam does. Basil Hayden, Booker's. I wrote it down. Knob Creek. So Knob Creek, still probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite Beam product, particularly the barrel strength rye. Oh gosh, is that good? That is ridiculously good. All right, so I left my ice in the freezer. Hold on. We talked about the different caps, right? That there are 4 different toppers. So this is my second topper. I'm not going to open this bottle up, but this is the second topper. So I know it's a long way away, but you can tell that those toppers are different. And there are 2 more. So since I had to get up anyway, I thought, you know what, I'll just get that. But there's no, well, I guess there's a small 7 on there. There's another one with a big 7, but that's got a small B, right? Decidedly different. Tyler, I hope you were able to see that. Aaron, yes, it's a little spicy. It definitely is a little spicy, but it's spicy in all the right ways. I do like this one a lot. All right, so the ice story. When Paul was here, you might have heard my son talking in the background, and as Father's Day was coming, he wanted to know what I wanted for Father's Day, and he was showing me 2 different ice sphere molds. One of them looked like Darth Vader, the other one looked like the Death Star. And I thought, you know what, the Death Star would be nice because it's round. I'll be able to tell what it is. It's got like little indents and things like that. I thought this will be pretty cool. And it came on Sunday, which was Father's Day, which was really nice. You know, as much as I don't like working on Sunday, I sometimes appreciate that that FedEx does. So thank you for that. But the downside is because it's not in a thermos of any way, there's no directional freezing. So it just freezes as it is. And it came out cloudy. And this was with boiling hot water because the instructions of this thing said that you're supposed to boil it before you use it. So I boiled it, and I just happened to use the water out of that boil. It's clear, it's purified. I boiled it for like 5 minutes. I put it in there, it still came out cloudy. So I'm thinking I'd like to try it again and put it in some sort of a cooler so it has the opportunity to freeze slower and more directionally. It might be kind of fun to see what this would look like clear. The other thing that happened is, so when you freeze water, it can expand. And by the time this was done, it was up like this. And the other mold that I have has got a ridge around it that looks like a cancerous tumor because it opened up and froze opened up like that, and it just looks horrible. So I didn't even bring that one on camera. I'll just enjoy that off camera and laugh every time I have to look at it. It's hilarious. I think for the clear ones I'll just stick to the tried and true method, but I do like it. It does show, you know, the pattern, and it has the big dish where the big laser beams come out of that blows up planets and all that kind of stuff. So it's cool. I just would like to try to figure out a way to do it so I get a clear sphere out of it. All right. There we go. All right. Oh, and I did bring down a spoon so I can stir it without using my finger. You saw Paul and I 2 weeks ago, we stirred it with fingers. It's almost I think this sphere is a little bit bigger than the other ones that I make because it's really tough to get the spoon around it. Spoon! If either you know the tick or you don't know the tick. That was his war cry. Spoon. Paul, you're about to have kids. You're going to understand the things that nobody else will understand. You know, SpongeBob thankfully hit the mainstream. So my love of SpongeBob, which over the time turned into a disdain of SpongeBob. But anyway, you're going to find out there's things that you're going to watch and you're going to share with your kids, and nobody else is going to understand because you're going to be in a kind of a category all your own. All right. So Death Star Bakers. it's ugly. Boy, that got sweet. That got sweet. Still has a lot of cinnamon on it. Brought out honey notes that weren't there before. Wow. That changed. Like the 1792 that we tried a couple of weeks ago, it fell apart on ice. Blade and Bow always falls apart on ice. This does not. This holds up. This is quite good. Yeah, so if you wanted to use this in a cocktail, you could. It's not going to fall apart. It's not going to leave. It's not going to leave the party. Yeah, that's actually quite good. It's still not my preference. I think I liked it on water best. But you don't have to worry about it on ice. It's going to hold up. Boy, that's nice. That cinnamon, that hazelnut, carries through all the way. That's nice. Okay, there you go. Did I bring out next week's? Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do what I was going to do next week. Next week, what I'm going to do is this one. Green River. This is new to the shelves in Ohio. It's only been out a few weeks. And for a hot second, it was flying off the shelves. Now it's just sitting there. It's available to all. There are some people who come in and ask for it by name, and but this is one that I just picked up not long ago. Michael says, ever consider straw polling with a few options and letting viewers pick the pour? I gotta own the pour, dude. I mean, you can pick the pour if you want to, but there's so many people, I've found out, there are so many people that are so in love with Buffalo Trace, that's all I'm gonna get. And I've already done that whole series. Go back a year. I did them all. I got the Taylor, and I got the Buffalo Trace, I got the Stag Jr., which is now just Stag. I've got the Sazerac Rye, they're all on there. The only one that isn't there are the ones that you can't get, like, the George T. Stagg and the Thomas H. Handy and things like that. I mean, if you want to suggest something, I'm always for it. You do it. You suggest it. I mean, you give them the options, ha. I just say, if you want me to try something, tell me what you want me to try. And I'll do what I can to get a bottle of it if I don't already have it. And, we'll jump in there and get her done. Get her done, But I was going to do the Old Elks, but I kind of already did the Old Elks. We were going to go through all the different casks, the rum cask, sherry cask, the cask I can't pronounce, and the weeded and all. I think I've kind of already done that at some point, so I don't want to go back and, chew yesterday's breakfast. So we're going to try this, the Green River. I don't know anything about this. I picked it up off the shelf because it was brand new. And this one is non-chill filtered. That makes me excited a little bit. Kentucky Straight Bourbon, Owensboro, Kentucky, 90 proof. Pick 4 you haven't done or something. I'd love to see some of the high-end Woodford selections. I know you would. You're just dying for me to open those up. I've got the Master Distillers collection, some of them, and he's just dying for me to open them up. Probably because he wants to be a guest and he wants to try them himself. Which, Buckner's. Aaron was telling me yesterday or the day before that Buckner's was chosen as the Bourbon of the Year. It's that $200 bottle. It's really good. Is it worth $200? I don't know, but is it a good bottle? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Very, very tasty. So if you're hesitating on that because of the $200 bottle price, I understand. I'm with you. I get it. Aaron got one. He shared it with me. Holy cow, was that a great pour. And there are only a few things I put in that category of freaking great pour. Buckner's is one of them. Really, really good. So, but this is what we're doing next week. Green River, because I don't know anything about it, and I want to know more about it, so I can, tell you more about it. Yeah, so that'll be next week. I'll bring it over. All right, so what do we got? If you want to bring it over, next Thursday, or next Monday would be the day to do that. Because I've got a couple of random things coming up over the next few weeks. So if you want to do it, let me know, and we'll do it over the next few weeks. The next series that I start is going to be in September, and I'll be doing a 4-week series. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to make you wait because it's going to be a good one. Now, I may make it a 5-week series because there's a new one that just came out that I'm dying to buy. It's expensive, but I'm dying to get it. Dying. So anyway, so next week, Green River, we'll find out more about that and share that with you, okay? So in the meantime, you guys have a great week. Thank you for joining me on a Monday. I know it's different, but so far it's working out, and we'll see where it continues to go. If it works out better for everybody and we keep doing it on Mondays, then okay, fine. If Thursdays are better, then we'll go back to that when I have the opportunity, but right now it's going to be Mondays for a little while. So, all right, guys, thank you again so much for being a part of the Bourbcast and for commenting and basically helping make this show everything that it is. The people on YouTube are reacting well. They love it, and it's not all me; it's you guys too. You're a part of this. You're co-hosts, even though people can't see you, because your comments matter, and I like responding to them. So thank you for that. Instagram is dead. It's boring. I don't ever do it anymore. But Instagram at Beautiful Bourbon, Facebook Beautiful Bourbon, and of course the blog, which I also find boring and I don't do it anymore. But it's there. If you want to see past Bourbcasts and things like that, it's at beautifulbourbon.com, or you could type in thebourbcast.com or just bourbcast.com. It'll take you there anyway, and you'll be able to see some of the reviews and some of the things I've written up. And I really need some help on that one because it stinks. It's horrible. But anyway, I will see you next Monday for Green River right here on Beautiful Bourbon. And thank you so much for joining us.